Definitely needs more salt.
I keep hearing that my food needs more salt, but do we use too much salt, or should you just keep pouring on? Here's what I have learned from 20 years in healthcare with a bachelor's degree in nursing and specializing in preventive medicine. I remember sitting at a family dinner, watching someone pick up the salt shaker and give their food a generous dusting before even tasting it. That's when it hit me. We don't just eat salt, we expect it. It's like an invisible ingredient hidden in everything we consume, from bread to breakfast cereal, and the weirdest part, we crave it without even realizing it. Salt has been part of human civilization for thousands of years. It was so valuable that entire economies were built on it. Wars were fought over it, and in some places it was literally used as a currency. The word salary. It comes from sal, the Latin word for salt, because Roman soldiers were sometimes paid in it. Back then, salt was a necessity. It preserved the food, kept people from starving, and made the difference between surviving the winter or not. But here's the thing. Most of us aren't fighting off starvation anymore. We have refrigerators, we have fresh food, and yet we are still eating salt like we are living in the Middle Ages. Let's talk numbers. The World Health Organization says we should aim for about 5 grams of salt a day. It's roughly 1 teaspoon. That sounds reasonable, right? But the average person consumes around 10 times that amount. They think it's all about what we add to food. Well, it's not. It's about what's already in the food before it even reaches our plate. Let me give you an example. This morning I grabbed a sandwich from a cafe on my way to work. It was whole grain bread, turkey, some cheese, and a bit of mustard. Pretty standard sandwich, but later I checked the salt content. Between the bread, the cheese, the meat, and the mustard, the one sandwich contained my entire recommended daily intake of salt. And I haven't even touched a salt shaker. And it's not just sandwiches, breakfast cereals, canned soups, frozen meals, even healthy foods like salad dressings and protein bars. Salt is hidden in all of them, and manufacturers do it for a reason. Salt enhances flavors, masks poor quality ingredients, and makes food more addictive. The more salt we eat, the more we want to eat. I once had a patient, a man in his early 50s, who had never had major health issues before, but he came in with high blood pressure, headaches, and swelling in his legs. His diet, pretty normal by most people's standard. He didn't add much salt to his meals, but he lived on processed foods. He thought he was eating well, grabbing quick, convenient options, but his body was overloaded with sodium. His blood pressure was through the roof. His kidneys were struggling and his heart was working overtime. And this isn't a rare thing, because high salt intake is directly linked to hypertension, which increases the risk of stroke, heart disease, and kidney failures. The worst part, you don't feel it happening. It's silent. By the time the damage is done, it's already too late. And I get it. Salt makes food taste good. That's why it's everywhere. And cutting back on it isn't easy. I tried it once just to see how hard it really was. I stopped eating processed foods and avoided adding extra salt to anything. For the first few days, everything tasted bland. It was like my taste buds had been numbed. But after a week, things started to change. I could taste flavors I hadn't noticed before. Vegetables had a natural sweetness, meat had a depth, even simple things like eggs had more character. My body wasn't missing the salt anymore. I had just been so used to it, I thought I needed it. That's the trick. It's not about cutting salt completely. It's about resetting our taste buds. Salt should be a seasoning, not a foundation. If you cook from scratch, you control how much goes in. If you buy packaged food, check the label, and if you do use salt, use it after you have tasted your food, not before. Because let's be honest, most of us are just adding salt out of habit. One of the biggest myths I hear in my daily practice as a nurse is that if you stop eating so much salt, you'll be constantly tired, weak, or even lightheaded. And that's simply not true. Your body does need sodium, but unless you're running a marathon in the desert, you're already getting more than enough. Cutting back doesn't make you weaker, it makes your body work better. And once I met a guy, he used to down sports drinks like they were water. He swore he needed the electrolytes to function. But when he cut off the excess sodium and switched, something wild happened. He felt better. He had more energy, fewer headaches, and didn't feel bloated. His body wasn't starving for salt, it was just used to having too much. We are not supposed to be drowning in sodium every day. Our ancestors hunted, gathered, and cooked from scratch. They got salt naturally from their food, and they weren't dealing with the epidemic we see today of high blood pressure, heart disease, and kidney failure. So maybe the question isn't, does my food need more salt? Maybe it's, why do I think it does?